Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome. I actually just wanted to sit down and record one of those more casual talks where I'm contemplating about life in general, spiritual life especially. But the second I started to arrange everything for my recording, something else came in, and now I feel like that some kind of message wants to come through. So we'll see. So there's already something in my throat, and I have to be honest, it feels like, again, a continuation of the same energy that has been present here on this channel all week. We talked a lot about the relationship between the masculine and the feminine, some imbalances, the fear of showing the feminine energy, the fear of how the world at large would react to that, to our more maybe I'm mostly speaking about it from a spiritual perspective. Like, I've been talking about the more mystical side of things, about psychism, about how the feminine is related to those deeper mystical spaces. But I think what I've not talked about, like I haven't really addressed it, is the more, let's call it, artsy side of things, the more creative side of things. It doesn't always have to be like in this spiritual context. I mean, for me, everything is actually related to spirituality because spirit is just everywhere. It's like energy is everywhere. Source is in everything. So for me, everything is spiritual. But we have to use language, right, to make sense of the categories we're talking about. So you know what I mean. So it's so interesting because I feel quite joyful. I've been really like tired, a little bit muted until I decided to come on and record something. And I had this idea while I was making my coffee. My coffee preparing process never disappoints. I always get the best ideas. Some people get them under the shower. I get them while making coffee. To be honest, I think I like making the coffee more than drinking it, actually. It's always getting cold anyways when I'm sitting here and recording. I probably like the idea more of me sitting here and having coffee with you than actually doing it. Anyways, yeah, I'm like, the second I came on here, there is this joy flooding through my whole system, my whole being. And I'm just happy because I like doing that. But then at the same time, there is this wave of sadness rushing over me, or rushing in, washing over me, I wanted to say. And yeah, it really feels like a wave, like an ocean wave that is just washing over me. And the funny thing is that I'm like a little kid that gets washed over, maybe knocked off her feet. But then she just gets up and smiles and laughs and is happy to get to play in the ocean. This is how it feels right now. So what do we make of that? what do we Where do we go from here with this piece of information? Maybe there's something in there about like still being able to connect with joy and playfulness, whilst also navigating all kinds of emotions and ups and downs, and especially for us who are maybe in an awakening process or like walking this sometimes quite challenging path of leaving a quote unquote more spiritual life. I don't know why I'm getting so hung up on this spiritual stuff today. Maybe because I sometimes really hate that I have to use language to explain things when I know that they are just not, like words just never really. I love words. I love words so much, and they can do a great deal of things in a great way. But they can be insanely beautiful, but at the same time, so often they just fall short. So maybe there's something in there about like it's impossible to describe this whole journey, this process, this path each and every one of us is walking, and it's like it looks so different for every one of us. And at the same time, there are those common factors that kind of tie us all together. And so it's funny because I think the last time I sat in this spot and had this kind of just the talk, it was actually about pain and about like the pain and the challenges on the journey. And now I feel like talking about joy. And this is one of my mantras, is follow the pain and follow the joy. And I think that this is actually very good advice, because this is like the joy, of course, always leads you to the places that really light you up. And at the same time, when you bypass the pain, you will get stuck. You won't get anywhere. So you also have to follow the pain, because this is where you, in the end, will find gold. Because under the pain is buried what will finally bring you to your greatest joy. And they're not, like, it's hard to describe this journey, and so this is sometimes hard for me to talk about it, because I have my own experiences, and I have maybe a few more people I know who walk some kind of a similar path. But I always find it fascinating to hear about other people's journeys, and how they can be so different and at the same time so similar. And how we, like one way or another, we all meet in the same spot, and maybe just for a moment, maybe just for one video, maybe just for one short conversation. But many roads lead to Rome, right? Is that a saying in English? I think so. So this playfulness within the maybe harder parts of the journey. Like, yes, we get washed over those huge waves of emotion, and they sometimes knock us off our feet. They do. But it's so important to get up again and to find the joy again and to laugh about it. And not to get too hung up on maybe the bruises and scratches that we got from falling or that we got wet. Again, I just have this image in my mind's eye of this joyful, playful child that just, I mean, if you watch children play, they just don't care if they get dirty or wet or, yes, they fall, yes, they cry, but then they get a hug and, yeah, okay, they have a scratch, but then they just like the next moment they're happy again and they go back playing. And I'm coming to a place in my own like spirituality, in my own journey, where I, after a really long period of doing a lot of shadow work and being in those darker, denser spaces, and while I still do that sometimes and I still work in those spaces, and I do a lot of work there for me collectively, but I am in this point in my journey where I realized how important it is to always come back to that lightheartedness and to that joy and really team up with your own inner child and let it run sometimes, and not always have to know everything, not always have to know where something leads you, but just go with it and explore. And this is, I don't know. I'm confused because usually my messages are like 30 to 60 minutes long. And right now I feel like I'm done. I'm done. I'm just thinking maybe I can pull you a card, but probably it would just like say the same thing again. I mean, there's not that much more to add. But no, there is something more. There is something more. Let me see. Which deck do we use? Right. My Rumi Oracle deck. My Mystical deck. Let's see. Okay, I just heard, don't take life so seriously. It's really not that serious. And to be honest, I mean, this can feel like when you hear that and you are, I don't know, in the like darkest spaces and just in so much pain, and you don't know how to pay your bills, or you just lost your job, or I don't know, ended a relationship. Like when you're in so much pain and then you hear those, oh, my nose is itching. So my itching nose, that's usually mostly related to masculine energy. Oh. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, when like it feels so cynical, right? When you're in those spaces and then someone comes along and says like, "Gosh, don't take it so serious. Like it's not that serious." And I feel you. And it's, sometimes we just cannot take it. Like we're just like, get away with that stuff. I just cannot hear it right now. And that's fine. And like everything at its time, you know. But at some point in the journey, you get to that place where you realize actually it's true. Actually, it's really not that serious. And it's just the mind that's playing all those tricks on me, and it's like telling me that everything is so terrible and hard, and it has to be hard. I mean, sometimes we have those belief systems inside of us that just tell us that life is hard. I mean, how many proverbs are there and sayings out there that tell us money doesn't grow in trees, work hard, play hard? I don't know. Like there's so many examples out there, and I mean, that has been true for the longest time, right? Our ancestors, they really had to work hard for their food, for just like bare survival. But we are in the 21st century, and we have everything available at our fingertips. And while this is debatable if that is such a great development, but I mean, it's not supposed to be that hard. And there are so many studies about this that said, like, yeah, actually, like I don't know, like 100 years ago. So I don't really quite remember it in detail what like people expected with like all the modernization and the technology and all of that. Like they expected us to live in like this paradise where nobody really had to work and everything, like all the problems solved. But reality looks very different. And sometimes we work even more and we have less time available than our ancestors did. So yeah, I went on a little tangent here, but let's see. Nope. Wait. Okay. It's a little shaky, like a little... It's hard to describe. It's like an on-off energy, like the shuffling. So I love, like, this card is You Who Show the Way, and I love that those ocean waves are there again. This lighthouse, the lighthouse. Yeah, I'm just seeing that picture of, like those like deep ocean waves, and sometimes you're down here and you cannot see the light, but you can trust that life, the ocean, will bring you back up, and then you can see the light again, and then you can move towards the light. And what you need is the trust when you're down here that eventually you will get up, back up, and then you will be able to see the light again. There's something about trusting life, and like, yeah. So this analogy probably doesn't work that perfectly, but it's what they're showing me. It's about how, like, when you try to swim against the current, or against like the movement of the waves, that it's some like you will wear yourself out and you will probably get nowhere. But if you allow yourself to float, you save energy, and you can just allow the ocean to make the movements, and you will be carried up and down. But you can trust the movement. I hear the problem begins when you are down and then you start to fight the movement. You start to fight what is present at the moment. And then you won't get up again because you're fighting the natural upward movement that will come, but you don't jump on the wave because you're not able to see it, because you're so like you're struggling with survival and with just like paddling. And then in the end you will just drown. And I'm saying that with this smile on my face. This is such a weird energy today. I don't know. I'm so giddy. I don't know why. So sorry. And then you just drown. What's going on with you? Really? Yeah, it's not so serious. Just have a good laugh. It's so important. Like I said before, I know it's cynical, but I mean, we've all been there, right? Like we are like, life just yeah, it feels like life just happens to you, and there is sometimes like this moment where you are like, I don't know what else could happen. Like when shit really hits the fan, right? And you're just on this point in your downward spiral where you are sitting there and you're thinking, okay, now like the ceiling over me could collapse, and maybe that would be worse, but I don't know what else could happen. And then you just laugh. You're just laughing at it. And this can be so wholesome. It can be so healing. And somehow I'm just seeing like two friends. Like, I don't know, I get this image of when you... Yeah, I see two friends where one just like ended a relationship, or the other person ended, like she's just heartbroken, and she's sitting there and crying, and then her friend comes and comforts her, and they are in this together, and the other one has been like, she knows what a broken heart is too, so she can relate. Even though she doesn't feel the pain at the moment, but she knows how it feels. So they can just meet each other in that space, and then they can be together, and they like, she can comfort the other one. And then maybe like she will just make a stupid joke, and they start laughing. So that's the image I'm getting right now. And maybe this is where this card comes in. Sacred Soul Sister. I feel like there's more to it, and now they want me to get the tarot. Ooh, I don't have space here. I didn't plan on doing that. Yeah, let's take this one. Nope. This one, yes. So there's the Five of Pentacles, and I think that one came out in another reading the other day. So this one fell on the floor, and it now in the end it came out in reverse, and when I picked it up it slipped out of my hand again. So it seems like this is like this Five of Pentacles. It's about scarcity and lack. It's this feeling of not having enough, not being enough, not being cared for. Again, we have that thing of like not trusting when you're like in the, like when you're down, that you will be carried up again. And it's like there are all those pearls that are, or beads that are rolling around, and I get this image again like of like it's spilling on the floor. So there's something about like picking something up and then it just like it's slipping out of your hands again and it's spilling all over the floor again. It seems like there's something that you cannot really get a hold on. It slips through your fingers. I keep hearing that. And okay, we have like two more threshold cards, you could say. The Two of Wands and the Chariot. And they are both cards that just speak about like the Two of Wands. It's about like you see, like you dream of the journey. You see that there's something waiting for you, but you're still in this, like you haven't embarked on the journey yet. You are in the planning mode. You are in the maybe still dreaming about it mode. Thinking about what to do, what steps to take. And the Chariot is in some sense a graduation card. This is your graduation paper. So the Two of Wands right now, they're hitting me with some sort of longing. It seems like you're waiting for something. But what Spirit is saying here right now is, right now it's not the time to wait for it. I get this image of somebody waiting for a bus to come and pick them up, but they haven't made the journey to the bus station. Like they're sitting at home and waiting for the bus to come and pick them up, but that just will not happen. Like you have to make the journey. But it's not time for the journey yet. Because there's still something you need to do before you can do that. Okay, let's get a few clarifiers here. So we have the 10 of Wands and the Hermit. I hear one more. And bottom of the deck. All right. So we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Hermit, and we have 5 of Wands. Oh, this is so interesting. All right. I'm sorry. I've been looking at the cards and not talking to you. We have the 10 of Wands, which is about like ending a cycle. And yeah, it's very much this energy of deciding what can come with us, what has to stay in the old cycle, has to be left behind. But what I'm really drawn to is like both the Hermit and the 5 of Wands came out in reverse. And reversals, I read them quite intuitively. I don't read them like with a fixed. It's more like always a quality of the energy that comes through. I can't really describe it. You'll see. But what I'm drawn to is that with the Hermit here, there's a candle, and those 5 of Wands are lit on fire. So there's like something happened in that Hermit phase that it seems like you're coming out of, or maybe you're still in, or it doesn't even feel like that this Hermit phase is necessarily something that you've experienced lately, but more something that you maybe experienced your whole life. Like it's just a quality of life energy that you always had, that you've always been in. And there's something that we've learned, and somehow I see like this flame right now is some kind of knowledge that we've gained from that. I stand corrected, a belief. It's a belief that we learned for us to be supposedly true. But what we don't see is that like this belief is actually lighting those wands on fire. And the 5 of Wands is all about the idea of I have to fight something. I have to, like, there's always this internal conflict, but we are projecting it onto the outside world. The 5s, there is so much about our inner conflicts, but we are always thinking it's something outside of us. So there seems to be some kind of conflict that we have with the world. at large, like with the outside world. But it's actually a conflict that's inside of us. My phone is hungry. I don't want to lose you. Sorry. Okay. Oh, so it's 33 on my charger thingy. Might be important. And now I'm drawn to the 3 of Vessels. That's on the bottom of the deck, another 3. So yeah, all right, that's the underlying energy. And this is what I've been picking up on. Where have my cards gone? Here. Oh my God, everything is falling apart here. I just don't have the space to put my stuff. This seems significant. Like not having, like, yeah, you have to make room. There's there's just too much stuff lying around. You somehow have to make room for new things, good things to come in with this Chariot energy, and also those 5 of Coins. Stuff is slipping out of your hand and falling back onto the floor. Yeah, because you don't have the space to put it anywhere. You have to let go of things. Otherwise, new things cannot come in. But yeah, what I was talking about, like this 5 of Wands energy, it's very much an energy of me against the world, and I have to fight the world. There's always some kind of, it's a very fiery energy. So to me, it always has this quality of war, to be at war with something. And the thing is, it doesn't always look like it. Our ego is very good at telling us that, like, we are in the right. It's very good at telling us how we are right and the rest of the world just doesn't get it. This is bringing me to something that came out in the video, like in my last reading that I posted, where I was talking about this archetypal war between the I don't know how I phrase it, but it's basically the archetype of the outcast, the underdog, against the mainstream society or the ruling authority. Very much like, a Robin Hood against the king kind of vibe. And while we still feel like we might feel for Robin Hood, and we feel for the outcast, we feel for the underdog, especially those who maybe live a life that is different from what everybody else is doing. We are not living a quote unquote normal life. There is this danger in here that we view ourselves as those righteous warriors, and then the rest of the world just doesn't get it, and it's wrong, and it's everything is so fucked up, and it's not really worth it. They don't get it anyways. I don't know if that is just an example, or I don't know. I've already felt it in the last reading. I didn't really touch on it there because I felt like it's worth to get its own space to talk about that. But yeah, okay, so what they're saying is that this is actually a lack energy that's underlying this whole way of thinking, of viewing the world. And by the way, it doesn't always have to be a fighting energy. It can also be more of a victim energy. So this just depends on where like your personal preferences are, where you're leaning towards. Are you more like the rebel, the one that picks up the sword and fights the world, or are you more the kind of person who is like leaning more into resignation and just retrieving? So that's partly like the hermit energy that's coming through. But yeah, beneath this me against the world belief, there's this Five of Pentacles energy lying beneath that, like this. I hear something about self-worth, trust and self-worth. So this is all somehow connected. And now they are bringing me back to the Three of Vessels that is at the bottom of the deck, which means it's usually like an undercurrent, like an underlying energy that we don't really, maybe it's not that obvious to us what's, like how this all is related. But yeah, the Three of, it's basically the Three of Cups. And I find it so interesting because in this deck, it's depicted so differently. Usually this is seen as a card of friendship and connection. And you usually see like three people together celebrating, something like that. But here it's paint. And I don't know why, but I love it. Like those three colors are coming together and painting a beautiful picture. And they're so different. All of these colors are so different. And yeah, so this is about like when we hide behind our like those fixed ideas of how the world is and how everybody else is and how it's me against the rest of the world, then we don't really make room for others to show us who they truly are. I hear like I see your true colors shining through that song. And again, this seems to be something that we've adapted in this like space of being alone. There seems to be some kind of identity that we've put on, like some view of ourselves that we adopted, but that we create, like we created it. We created that. In this hermiting energy that was there, and it really feels like it's been there like our entire lives. So yeah, I hope this resonates, and I hope this maybe clears something up for someone. So one last thing, beneath the Three of Vessels was the Nurturer, which is basically the Empress, which is like this divine feminine energy. And this is, again, this leaning back and letting things come in. But again, we need that. There's something we need to let go of. There's something we need to like allow to exit our lives. And it seems to be like this, whatever that is, the belief that you adapted, created, protected yourself with, from that hermit phase in order to come into this energy and to really receive the blessings that are out there and waiting for you. So yeah, this message was not over after 15 minutes. Would have surprised me. All right. Okay, so they're saying I should show those cards again now with everything we talked about. So we have this guiding light, of course, this trust. Even though it might feel like we are out alone at sea, but then we realize there actually is light. There actually are other people who hold up the light so that we can find them and join them here. And yeah, this sacred soul sister, which very much speaks again to this is very much a three of cups energy, actually, sacred soul sister. And the interesting thing is here is the 33 again. So the 3 is really standing out here. Okay, no, I'm not supposed to say anything else about that, only that this card is also 3. So forever, like, the 3 is really standing out here. Whatever that means for you. All right, my beautiful souls, that's it. I think. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I hope this finds you. I hope it helps. And we'll see if I get to that other thing I wanted to talk about another time. But yeah, this is actually what I love about this kind of work, because you just never know what happens. It's truly amazing. I really like it. Alrighty. I love you so much. I would love to hear from you if you feel like it. And I would also love to see you in one of my next videos. And until then, take care.